What's up, guys? It's Kictor. How is everybody doing on this Monday evening? Is it Monday? I've lost track of time. Hello. Let's see who we got here. We got Susan and Quinn and Xavian and CSCL and Empress Prince and Long Lost Time Lady and Shruvia and Xavian. Hello. Ooh, some people I haven't seen in the chat in a while. Nice to see you guys. Hello. Aw, how's everybody doing? It is Monday for me. Yes, indeed. Hey, Esper Lady and Guy the Pirate Witch. And, oh, how fun. I hope everybody's doing well. Scorpia says, I finally started reading Arha. Oh, nice. That is fantastic. I am still in the middle of Case File, the most recent one. It's got to a very sad part, and a part that really reminded me of Arha. Can someone catch us up? Yes, I'll definitely give a good little catch up for where we're at. Fox the Ember says, I've been anxious this weekend for some reason, but trying to chill and work on an animatic for Epic the Musical. Oh, sick! Oh my god, I'm sorry you've been feeling anxious, but I hope that goes away and you can do your animatic. That's wicked. I just watched a really long animatic. It was like short little comedy bits of, from Apothecary Diaries, and it was so funny, and it's just like voiced by like one girl, and it was so funny. It inspired me. I was like, I want to make stuff like this. Bridget, thank you so much for your donation, Bridget. Hello, I can't stay for long, so this is a quick message. Also, Sumo says hi and wishes for luck. Have fun reading. Oh, thank you so much, Bridget, and hello, Sumo. Hello, everyone. Esper Lady says, hello, I was sick today. No, and took the day off to rest, so I watched a bunch of your old videos. Oh, no way. Aw, I'm glad I could keep you company while you were sick. Aw. Pabani says, I thought you didn't do a member stream, but I was kicked out due to me moving countries. Oh my god, I'm sorry that like somehow like in place. I'm glad you're able to figure it out, but I'm sorry that happened. And Xavian says, I stockpiled a couple drawings for the Frantic fanfics, and I'm on chapter 5 of the boat fic. Oh, yes! I want to have it mostly done before I post. Nice! Oh my god, I'm so excited. That's wicked. Cats Cows has been a member for 21 months. Thank you so much. And says, woo, I got my partner to watch the Scum Villain Donghua. Then I was reading it to them. I also posted my MXTX Tober drawings to the community page. Oh yeah! Oh my god, okay, I'm excited to see that. Who has, who's been like, anybody else been doing MXTX Tober stuff or any Inktober stuff? That's so exciting. Hey, Emma! And hi, Kate! Kate, oh my god. Kate says, I can't donate today because I just bought a brand new car. Rest in peace, old car. Kate was telling me that your husband was just driving your car and it just fell to pieces. Like, oh my god. I'm glad nobody got hurt or anything, but that's exciting. How fun. What color is your new car? Quinn! Thank you so much for donating, Quinn. Quinn says, hi, Kictor and everyone else. I was at an art market in Toronto over the weekend and actually sold 2 of my paintings. So happy. Dude, Quinn, that's amazing. That is so cool to have someone actually purchase your art. That is wicked. Congrats, dude. Yeah, I mean, your art is fucking sick, the stuff that you've shared with us. So that is really, really cool. Oh my gosh. I had a very action-packed weekend. On Friday, I had my Dan May sleepover with my friends, Ray, Cass, Chelsea, and Amy, and we watched Wang Yibo's dance movie, One and Only, where he's kind of like an aspiring like break dancer, and he gets an opportunity to kind of be a stand-in for this like dance crew, and the guy he's taking over for is like a total fucking asshole, and the dance crew ends up wanting Wang Yibo to be their main guy instead of the asshole guy, but it's kind of just like a drama, but you get to see him doing lots of head spins. That's his specialty. He's very good at head spins. And it was good. He's so cute. I love him so much. And then after that, we just watched a lot of Wang Yibo videos online. And then that ended up turning into watching like Xiao Zhan singing videos. And then we watched Luo Yunji singing videos. We went through all the like C-drama boys. It was really fun. And we had a lot of like leftover Tokyo Treat snacks to share with them, which was really fun. And we had mooncakes, and it was great. It was a really fun hangout. Kate said, I would have named my car Shalian, but given our car luck lately, that felt like a bad idea. Oh, yeah. My car is white. Very nice, very nice. Since I put the deposit down, I'm told my husband I'm naming him Chuanning. Oh, fantastic. Oh my goodness. And then, Saturday, I threw a birthday party for one of my best friends, and after that, we took a party bus downtown, and unfortunately, I got too drunk and got very, very sick, and then spent the whole day very, very sick yesterday as well, and it was awful. I've only ever been that sick one other time in my life when I was 16, so I'm never drinking tequila again. But thankfully, I survived after probably like exactly 24 hours of feeling nauseous. It was the worst thing fucking ever. Stitch literally saved my life. Yeah, not even being dramatic. It was awful. But we survived. And this morning, I felt amazing, and we went to a pumpkin patch thing. It's like this beautiful farm that has this like gorgeous pumpkin patch with all these little like picturesque locations, and they were little baby goats, and we got to feed the goats, and they had miniature horses, and they had sheep, and we did a corn maze. It was awesome. So it was quite the action-packed weekend. Rose City Kimono, thank you for your donation. Almost done with Case File 4. I am enjoying this series, but I definitely read lighter stories for a break. Nice. Reading Sasuke and Miyano right now. Major vibe difference, yes. Oh my god, very much so, yes. Very much so. That's fun, though. That's very fun. Thank you, Esperlity. Yes, I'm feeling so much better. Hey, Briarbox. Hello, hello. Send lots of hugs and smiles. Oh, thank you. I send you lots of hugs and smiles right back. Sienna says pumpkin patches are a lot more fun than pimple patches. Dude, you know like the clear pimple patches, and those are like so fucking expensive. We were at a convention and like that company was just there handing them out, and so me and my friends got so many of those for free, which is like insane. Like we're gonna be living off of those, because Stitch loves using those. Kohaku says, I went trick-or-treating at a campground Saturday and I got lots of candy, and my niece did too. And I put my costume on the community. Oh, sweet! I'm excited to see it! That's very fun. That's very fun. That's awesome. Yeah, we bought a box of Halloween candy. There's, I think it's, what's the purple company? Is it Cadbury? There's like, they have like an Oreo bar. And it's so good. I think it's like my new favorite candy. CSZL, thank you for your donation. Oh, CSZL has the recap. Yes. Okay. Okay. Defeating the Xuanwu, which was the turtle. Actually, I forgot about this. If you guys remembered, last October, Stitch and I made the series Wangshin Exorcism, and I would highly recommend giving that a rewatch. It was our modern AU, like in cosplay skit series that we did as Wei Wuxian and Lamwanji, and we had them defeat the turtle, and this was the turtle, and he keeps me company on my windowsill. So yeah, they defeated the turtle. Wei Wuxian wakes up back in Lotus Pier. Soup! Zhang Fengmian and Yue Zhuan argue. Zheng Cheng jealous. R Yunmeng has twin heroes. Bad news Liu Shidi. Right, yeah, so we had a really dramatic scene where Zheng Cheng's basically like, my dad fucking hates me and you're better than me at everything. And then Wei Wuxian reassured him that everything would be okay and he would be his right-hand man. And like, he's like, you're gonna be the sect leader, I'm gonna be your best buddy, and it'll be great. And then one of the fucking juniors goes missing, and the Wen clan is like, these bitches, is it because of the kite? Like, they shot down the kite or something, and then the Wen clan's like, they took one of the juniors away. And I do believe a war is about to outbreak. It's very bad. Pabani says, I actually started Case File today. The hilarious writing is too distracting from the plot. I know, right? It's like the horrors are happening, but Meat Bun has such a funny way of writing. Kimsey, thank you for your donation. Hi, I'm working on applying for colleges right now. Ooh, that's exciting. And fast, so I probably won't be super active in chat, but this is something nice to listen to. Thank you for being the light of my day. Oh my goodness, that's so kind of you to say. I'm happy to be in your day at all. That's so kind to say I'm the light of your day. Oh my goodness. I hope that you get into all the colleges you apply for. That's a very exciting time. And Tina has been a member for 9 months, a Supreme member. Thank you so much, Tina. Says, finished Case Files' newest volume. I can't wait for more. And looking forward to the releases that come out on the 14th. Oh, yes. Hey, what is coming out on the 14th? I can't remember. Is it Run Wild 3? I got to the part in Case File with the Zootopia mugs and Charmander. I did get to that part. I knew Zootopia, Mugs, and Charmander was a part of Case File, but I was not expecting it to be so sad. Guy went to a baby shower this weekend. Ooh. And B says, oh no, actually, is it Milka? No, I don't think so. It's gotta be, I can't remember what the brand is. Cadbury. I can't remember. I can't remember. Every stream I forget about the jiggling Jung Chung and it jump scares me. Oh shit, Kate! I wanted to fucking program in the Wangshin guys that you sent me. I might be able to do it if you give me a second here. That looks like the turtle from Elden Ring. Guy the Pirate Witch has been a member for 12 months. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for a whole year, Guy. That's incredible. Oh my goodness. You're so kind and so much fun to have in the chat. Thank you so much for supporting me for this long. Seriously. We're not at that part yet. Oh, okay. Miss Rosie said making candy for a con that's happening this weekend. It's herb themed for Apothecary Diaries cosplay. Oh, wicked! That's amazing. Cat Scout says, I just remembered where we're at in the story. I'm going to cry. Yeah. Emma says, my weekend has been busy with work, dog sitting my sister's dogs, all 10 of them. Oh my god, 10 dogs! And I am 4 chapters away from finishing volume 1 of Little Mushroom. I'm so tired. Oh my gosh, I hope you can have a break soon, Emma. Oh my goodness. We left off at the beginning of the kite part, but we haven't found out what happened to Luoshidi yet. Okay. Quinn says I'm reading volume 2 of Stars of Chaos. No spoilers, but there is a pet rat and I love the little guy. I too love the little guy. My rotten soldier. Kate says Shay Ching Chung is still my perfect wife. He can do no wrong. He's done some wrong. Yeah, it's at the part now that's just so sad. It's just so sad. They shot a one-eyed monster kite. Yes. Shruvia says, don't forget to tell us to like the stream. Hey, oh yeah, guys, please remember to click like on the stream. October 14th has new Run Wild and new Legend of Exorcism. Oh, I'm very excited to hear what happens next, the next Legend of Exorcism. Oh my goodness. Any like tech nerds in the chat? I have a window. And I'm on a PC. And it's like, I can't reach the top of the window. Is there like a button command I can press that will like make the window go into normal size mode or something? It's like I can't adjust it to get it down. F11. Nope. Window plus arrow. Kate says, I'm not a tech person. Try dragging the top down. I can't get to the top because I have another screen above and my mouse goes into the other screen. So it's like the window is somehow stuck between the two screens, but I can't get to it. This has never happened before. Oh my god. We're trapped! This is funny. Okay, I just made a new window. It's fine. We'll just, it'll be good. Okay, wait, give me 1 second. I'm gonna see if I can load in the new picture that Kate just sent me for donations and stuff. Oh, Jeanette? Thank you so much for donating, Jeanette! Or is it Janae? Hey, glad I made it on time for once. Just letting you know I have an ortho appointment tomorrow. Hoping the cast comes off my leg. Oh yeah, with your fucking broken legs. Holy shit. I hope that they're all better and that you can get your cast off. Oh my gosh. I hope the best for you. Oh my god, that's seriously been such a scary thing. So I hope that that's all good. B, thank you. B understands the situation. It's okay, I just made a new window. That one will just sit there forever, and I'll restart my computer later. It's like, must be glitched or something. There's gotta be a command that forces a window to go full screen or something. Alas. Okay. Dentist Moran and Milk Mustache Lamonji. Oh yeah, we had quite the frantic fanfic session last week involving many dentists. Ooh, RJ says I'm getting a phoenix tattoo on half my back. That is fucking sick. It's gonna be a long day. Oh my god. Down at the bottom, you should be able to open a menu for the tab and force it to do... Oh, Beeboop! Oh my god! Holy shit, Beeboop! Thank you so much! What? Dude! Oh my god, thank you so much! That is so kind of you, Beeboop! What? And this is right before I'm gonna change the icon. Well, I'll see what I should make, what I should change, what I should force the icon to do. But oh my god, Beeboop, what? Thank you so much. I can't believe you, Beeboop. Beeboop has been insane the last couple streams. Holy shit, dude. Thank you so much. Beeboop sent 20 memberships. Beeboop, may you always have happiness. Beeboop making it rain. Beeboop, may you always have happiness. All hail Master Beeboop. Beeboop is sponsoring your wedding. Truly! Oh my god. Thank you so much, Beeboop. Oh my god. How are you today? Please, I hope you're doing good. I hope you're doing amazing. Thank you so much. May your favorite drink always be in your fridge. Don't worry. We have Dancing Jung Chung. We can do an ad, a variation for super chats. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Let me see. Xavier said, I thought of a prompt for the next game night and I'm holding on to it. Oh, I didn't make it a GIF though. It's just a picture right now. Okay, I might need to fuck with it and make it, so that they can dance too, you know? Okay. Let me see. This is a test message. Okay, if the super chat is exactly what's like the what? Why? It gives me the option for super chat amount is exactly this amount or at least this amount. Oh, okay. Well, okay, let's do at least $9.99 and we'll test it. Let me see. Damn, it's still doing. This is difficult. This is difficult. Sienna, thank you so much for gifting a membership. Time to glue thing. Maybe only one can be active. Let me see. It's just Kevin. It's just Kevin sending the super chat. Oh well. I will have to figure it out next stream. Kevin is showing off Jung Chung, truly. Okay. Kevin. Jung Chung doesn't want to share the spotlight, truly. Oh my god! Oh, it worked! Bee-boop! Oh my god, Bee-boop! Shit! Dude, thank you so much! What? Oh my god! Yay, happy Monday to you all! Currently working on exams, but also wanted to stop by and support the stream. I really appreciate you, your videos, and all of chat. Have an amazing rest of stream. Dude, oh my god! That is so sweet of you. Oh, dude, I can't believe you. Thank you so much, Bee-boop. That's just so kind of you. I'm so glad that you enjoy the streams and the chat and everything. Oh my gosh. And I hope you absolutely kill your exams. You're gonna kill it. You got this. Oh my gosh. Dude, just thank you so much for all of your support. That's so nice of you. Oh my goodness. Oh my god. Just thank you so much. And thank you for showing that the that the super chat works. Oh, 7 to Kevin. Yeah. Kevin's been defeated. Bye, Xavian! Thanks for stopping in! Okay. All right. Shall we jump into the book? May both your pillow sides always be cool, Bee-boop. Truly, thank you so much. That means so much to me and Stitch, so thank you for being so kind. Let us uncle up, yes. Time to become an uncle or something. Yeah, okay. So yes, Ryushidi has been taken away. Take us away, Ryushidi. Okay. So Wei Wuxian is like, who took him? Why was he taken? I don't know, that boy cried. I don't know why he was taken. Now Zhang Cheng was anxious as well. What do you mean you don't know why? Let's not lose our heads, Wei Wuxian said. Tell us exactly what happened. Just, when we went out to collect the kites, they'd all fallen way over there, super far away, the boy began. We went over and saw around a dozen people. They're from the Wen clan. They're dressed in their uniforms. They're sect disciples and servants, and the one leading them was a grown woman. She had one of the kites in her hand with an arrow in it. When she saw us, she asked who the kite belonged to. Another boy said, that kite belonged to Liu Shidi, so he said it was his. The woman suddenly got all mad and said, how dare you, and ordered her subordinates to take him away. Just like that? Wei Wuxian asked. The boys nodded. We asked why they were taking Liu Shidi, and that woman kept saying he'd committed a grave offense and harbored mutinous intent. Those were big words for Liu Shidi. She yelled for her lackeys to take him away. We couldn't do anything to stop them, so we ran back here. Zhang Cheng swore. Not even a reason to detain someone. Are the Wens looking to be gods? Yeah, they make no sense at all. Everyone stop, Wei Wuxian said. The Wens will probably be knocking on our door soon. Don't let them hear anything that can be used against us. Let me ask you, that woman, she wasn't carrying a sword, right? Was she kind of pretty with a mole above her mouth? Yes, that's her, the group of Shidi said. Zhang Cheng spat hatefully. Wangling Jiao, that... Just then, a woman's cold voice was heard. What's all the racket? Not even a day of quiet around here. With her purple robes aflutter, Madame Yu approached. Jinju and Yinju were dressed in full martial arts gear, following behind her and covering her left and right flank. Mom, the Wens are here, Zhang Cheng called to her. They've taken Liu Shidi. You're all so loud, I heard everything from inside, Madame Yu replied. So what? He was seized, not killed. So quick to stomp your feet and grit your teeth. Is that how a future sect leader should act? Stay calm. Man, she's such a bitch. Ugh. She then turned to face the main gates that stood in front of the drilling grounds, over a dozen Wen cultivators filled in, all dressed in blazing sun uniforms. From behind the cultivators, a woman in colorful robes sashayed into the grounds. She was lithe and graceful in figure, and charming in appearance. Her eyes reflected the bright and clear waters of autumn, and her lips were as red as blazing fire with a tiny black mole dotted above them. An exceptional beauty, except for the fact she'd festooned herself with... Festooned! What a word! She'd festooned herself with far too many gaudy hairpins and rings, as if she were trying her hardest to wear an entire jewelry shop, as well as flaunt all her favorite noblemen showed her. Flaunt all the favor her noblemen showed her. The result was incredibly tasteless. She was the one Wei Wuxian had sent flying and spewing blood with a smack back at Qishan, Wangling Jiao. Wangling Jiao pursed her lips in a smile. Madame Yu, I've come again! Madame Yu was expressionless, seeming to think that speaking a single word to this woman would soil her mouth. She waited until Wangling Jiao descended the steps from the main gate before she curtly demanded, Why did you seize a disciple from my Zheng clan of Yunmeng? Seize? Wangling Jiao asked. You mean the one we arrested outside? It's a long story. Let's go inside and sit down first. Then we'll all talk about it, A servant such as this, walking through the front doors of a prominent clan without prior notice or any request for permission to enter, a servant then demanding so unapologetically to enter the main hall to sit down and talk. Madame Yu's face was growing progressively more frigid. Veins bulged slightly on the back of her fair hand, and the finger wearing Zidian's silver ring twitched. Oh, I have Zidian. I have Zidian with us, actually. Go inside, sit down, and talk? She repeated. Of course, Wangling Jiao said. The last time I came to deliver orders, I didn't have the time to sit and stay a while. Please, go ahead. When he heard the word orders, Zhang Cheng snorted. Jinju and Yinju's expressions also darkened with anger, but Wangling Jiao was favored by Wen Chao, and they couldn't risk offending her. Which was why, though Madame Yu's expression was dripping with sneering disdain and her tones soaked in contempt, she still had no choice but to accept. Very well, go in then. Wangling Jiao flashed a charming smile before she really did flounce right inside. Although she'd said she'd wanted to go inside and sit, she didn't immediately take a seat. Instead, she strolled around Lotus Pier, ogling the grounds with rapt interest, giving commentary as she went. Lotus Pier really isn't bad. It's so big, but it's just that all the houses are real old. The wood is all black. What an ugly color. Not bright at all. Madame Yu, you're kind of failing as a mistress. Don't you know how to decorate? Hang some red gauze curtains next time. That'd look much better. Oh my god. Wang Lingzhou jabbed her fingers all around and criticized as she walked, as if this were her own back garden. All the while, Madame Yu's brow twitched non-stop, so much so that Wei Wuxian and Zheng Cheng suspected she might go ballistic and kick off a killing spree at any moment. Once the commentary-filled tour had concluded, Wang Lingzhou finally took a seat in the main hall. Though no one had invited or conceded to her, she walked up to the head seat herself and presumptuously sat down. When no one came to attend her after she'd sat a while, she frowned and smacked her palm on the table. "Where's the tea?" Although she was decked out in dazzling jewelry, her speech and behavior reflected no manners or education. What little grace she possessed was spoiled in hundreds of ways. But after that tour, no one was surprised. Madame Yu sat down in the second seat. The hems of her expansive purple robe and sleeves spread outward with the motion, accentuating her slender waist and beautiful posture. Jinju and Yinju stood tall behind her with mocking smiles on their lips. "There is no tea," Yinju answered. "Pour it yourself if you want it." Wang Lingzhou's eyes widened in astonishment. "Don't the Zheng servants do any work?" "The servants of the Zheng family have more important and serious matters to attend to," Jinju replied. "There is no need to rely on an intermediary to fetch tea and water. Your own arms and legs are perfectly capable." "Oh, damn!" Wang Lingzhou eyed the two girls up and down. "And who are you two?" "My handmaids," Madame Yu answered. "Madame Yu, your Zheng clan is too outrageous," Wang Lingzhou said disdainfully. "This won't do. Even handmaids dare interrupt people in the main hall. Servants like those would have been disciplined at the Wen family house with a slap to the face." Saying that like you're not a servant yourself, Wei Wuxian thought. Madame Yu was completely unmoved. "Jinju and Yinju are no ordinary servants. They have been by my side since they were young and serve no one beside myself. No one can slap their faces. It is forbidden. And besides, no one would dare." "Madame Yu, what are you saying?" Wang Lingzhou gasped. "The hierarchy within this prominent clan must be clear enough to ensure no confusion. Servants ought to act like servants." When she heard servants ought to act like servants, Madame Yu looked like she couldn't have agreed more. She shot Wei Wuxian a look, then responded with surprising agreement in her haughty tone. "Indeed." But then she immediately launched into questioning. "For what reason have you seized my Zheng sect disciple?" "Madame Yu had best teach that boy clear boundaries," Wang Lingzhou replied. "He harbors mutinous intent. I've already seized him and sent him to the proper authorities." Madame Yu arched her brows. "Mutinous intent?" Zheng Cheng couldn't help interrupt. "What mutinous intent could Liu Shidi harbor?" "I've got proof," Wang Lingzhou declared. "Bring it here." A Wen sect disciple brought over a kite. Wang Lingzhou waved it. "This is the proof." Wei Wuxian scoffed. "That kite's painted to look like your run-of-the-mill one-eyed monster. What kind of proof is that?" Wang Lingzhou sneered in response. "Do you think I'm blind? Look closely." Her vibrantly red fingernails jabbed at the kite as she confidently delivered her analysis. "What color is this kite?" "Gold. And what shape is this one-eyed monster?" "Round." "And?" Madame Yu pressed. "And?" Wang Lingzhou exclaimed. "Madame Yu, have you not noticed yet? What does a round and golden object resemble? A sun!" Amid the bug-eyed looks all around, she smugly continued. "Of all the ways to design a kite, why must his be a one-eyed monster? Why must it be painted gold? Could he have not made it a different shape? A different color? Are you all going to tell me this is a coincidence? I think not. He's obviously doing it on purpose. Shooting a kite designed like this can only mean one thing. Sun shooting. He wants to shoot down the sun. This is grave disrespect towards the Wen clan of Qishan. Is this not harboring mutinous intent?" Seeing how clever she considered her little performance and forced logic to be, Zheng Cheng could not hold back any longer. "Although the kite is golden round, it's still far from looking like the sun. How are they similar? It looks nothing like it." "Based on your logic, we can't eat oranges either," Wei Wuxian added. "Aren't oranges golden round too? But I think you've eaten more than one. I think you've eaten them more than once." Wang Lingzhou sent him a death glare. Madame Yu asked frostily, "So you came here this time for the sake of a kite?" "Of course not," Wang Lingzhou assured her. "I came this time to punish someone on behalf of the Wen clan and Wen Gongzi." Wei Wuxian's heart stopped for a second. As he suspected, Wang Lingzhou pointed at him. While Wen Gongsu was bravely facing the Xuanwu of slaughter on Mount Mushi. Hey, favorite boy mentioned. The boy took advantage of this distraction to make impertinent remarks and cause chaos, exhausting Wen Gongsu both physically and mentally. He nearly failed and even lost his sword. Listening to her spin false tales and fabricate lies, Zheng Cheng laughed out of sheer anger. On the other hand, Wei Wuxian remembered that Zheng Fengmian had left early that morning. They purposely waited until this time to come, or they intentionally lured Zhang Shushu out. But thank goodness, Wang Lingzhao continued, the heavens smile upon Wen Gongsu. Although he lost his sword, he still succeeded in slaying the Xuanwu of slaughter, despite the danger. But that boy cannot be tolerated. I've come today bearing an order from Wen Gongsu. Madame Yu must punish this person and make an example of him for all of the Zheng clan of Yunmeng. Mom, Zheng Cheng pleaded. Quiet, Madame Yu barked at him. Wang Lingzhao was very pleased with Madame Yu's reaction. This Wei Ying, if my memory doesn't fail me, he's a servant of the Zheng clan, correct? Sect leader Zheng isn't with us right now, but I'm certain Madame Yu understands the weight of things. If the Zheng clan of Yunmeng shields him, it would really make one wonder if certain rumors could be true. Hee hee. It's literally an hee hee. Oh, hee hee. She sat there in the head seat where Zheng Fengmian always sat, giggling with a hand over her mouth. With a stormy face, Madame Yu shifted her gaze away. Zheng Zheng sensed what her words implied and exclaimed indignantly, What rumors? Wang Lingzhao giggled. What rumors do you think? Just sect leader Zheng's old love affair? Seeing this woman dare to invent lies about Zheng Fengmian to their faces, rage blazed up in Wei Wuxian. Angrily, he started, You! Unexpected pain shot up his back, and his knees buckled. Madame Yu had suddenly moved and lashed him with her whip. Mom! Zheng Cheng cried out. Madame Yu had already risen to her feet. Zidian had been unleashed into its whip form, and its sizzling lightning coursed in her cold, jade-like hands. Zheng Cheng, move! Otherwise you'll kneel too! Wei Wuxian crawled up off the floor with difficulty. Move, Zheng Cheng, don't worry about it! Madame Yu whipped again, lashing him to the floor. She gritted her teeth. I've said again and again for so long that you unruly thing! One day you'll bring disaster on our Zheng clan! Wei Wuxian shoved Zheng Cheng away. He took the lashings with gritted teeth, not moving and not speaking. While Madame Yu always pelted him with hostile words, she'd never really hit him hard before, 2 or 3 lashes at most, or being made to kneel or confined indoors, and it never took Zheng Fengmian long to release him from that. But this time, he took dozens of hits from that whip, each lash so hard his back burned with pain until it went numb. It was hard, but he had to endure. If he wasn't punished right now to Wang Lingzhou's satisfaction, to the satisfaction of the Wen clan of Qishan, then this whole mess wouldn't end here. Wang Lingzhao watched with a broad smile on her face. Once Madame Yu was done lashing, Zidian swiftly retracted, leaving Wei Wuxian kneeling on the floor. His upper body swayed forward, and he almost fell over. Zheng Cheng wanted to help him, but Madame Yu scolded him sharply. Stand aside, do not help him. Jinju and Yinju firmly restrained Zheng Cheng. Wei Wuxian held on a while longer, but then collapsed heavily to the ground, prone and unmoving. Wang Lingzhao was astonished. That's it? Madame Yu humphed. What do you think? That's all? Wang Lingzhao prompted her again. Madame Yu arched her brow. What do you mean, that's all? What grade of weapon do you judge Zidian to be? He won't recover from this lashing even in a month. He'll feel it for some time. But he'll still recover, Wang Lingzhao said. Zheng Cheng demanded angrily. What more do you want? Madame Yu, this is meant to be a punishment. He must remember this lesson forever and regret his actions for the rest of his life, so he doesn't commit the same wrongs again, Wang Lingzhao lectured her. If he only suffers a few lashes, he'll be out and about once he recuperates. What kind of punishment is that? Boys his age never remember the pain once their injuries heal. It doesn't work at all. What do you want then? Madame Yu demanded. Chop off his leg to ensure he's never out and about again? Wen Gongsu is kind, Wang Lingzhao assured. He would never order something so brutal as chopping off both legs, just his right arm. Then Wen Gongsu will say no more about it. Like, oh my god. This woman was a donkey in lion's skin. Using Wen Chao as her backing, she was shamelessly out to avenge herself for the blow Wei Wuxian dealt her inside Mount Mushi's underground cave. Madame Yu glanced at Wei Wuxian askance. Chop off his right arm? That's right, Wang Lingzhao replied. Yu Ziyuan rose to her feet and slowly paced around Wei Wuxian, seeming to be considering the idea. Wei Wuxian was in so much pain he could barely lift his head. Zhang Cheng struggled free of Jinzhu and Yinzhu and fell to his knees to cover Wei Wuxian with his own body. Mom, please don't. Things weren't all like she said. Wang Lingzhou raised her voice. Zheng Xiao Gongzi, are you accusing me of fabricking? Wei Wuxian laid prone on the ground, unable to even flip himself over. Fabricking? What's fabricking? Then it suddenly came to him. You mean fabrication? This woman is used to be the handmaid of Wen Xiao's wife. She's never been educated, and her vocabulary is limited. In going on about feigning literacy, she used an unfamiliar word and mispronounced it while pretending to understand what she's babbling about. The current situation was dire, but in times like these, the human mind becomes unable to focus amidst the chaos and the imagination runs wild. So once the woman's gaffe clicked for Wei Wuxian, he found it quite funny. Wang Lingzhou had no idea she'd made a fool of herself. Think carefully, Madame Yu. Our Wen clan of Qishan will definitely follow up on this. Chop off his arm and let me bring it back with my report, and the Zheng clan of Yunmeng will be perfectly fine. Otherwise, things won't go so well next time Wen Gongzi asks questions. Madame Yu's eyes flashed with a chilling glint. Jinzhu, Yinzhu, go. Close the door, she said darkly. Don't let others see the blood. Jinzhu and Yinzhu would never disobey a command from Madame Yu. They answered a brittle yes in unison and went to firmly shut the door of the main hall. When Wei Wuxian heard the doors close and saw the light on the ground vanish, fear surged to his head. Is she really going to chop off my arm? Zhang Cheng was terrified. He hugged his mother's leg and begged her, Mom! What are you doing? Please don't cut off his arm! After the fear passed, Wei Wuxian clenched his teeth and steadied his heart with painful resolve. Quinn says, this girl needs the human stick treatment. Yes, truly. That's fine, as long as I can trade it for peace at home. Take it for all I care. At worst, I'll use my fucking left hand to practice the sword from now on. Wei Wuxian's such a good boy. Wang Lingzhou clapped. Madame Yu, I knew you'd be the most loyal of subordinates to the Wen clan of Qishan. Somebody, come hold this boy down. No need for you to use your hands, Madame Yu said, and Jinzhu and Yinzhu walked over. Well now, are you having your two handmaids hold him down? That works too. Mom, listen to me, Zhang Cheng cried. Please, I beg you, don't chop off his arm. If father finds out... It would have been better if he hadn't mentioned Deng Fengmian. The moment he did, Madame Yu's face abruptly changed colors. Do not mention your father in front of me. So what if he finds out? What's he gonna do? Kill me? Wang Lingzhou was delighted. Oh, Madame Yu, I admire you so much. Looks like we'll get along very well at the Overwatch office from now on. Madame Yu yanked back the hem of her purple silk skirt as well as the leg Zhang Cheng was clinging to. She turned around and raised her brows. The Overwatch office? Wang Lingzhou grinned. Yes, the Overwatch office. That's the second important matter I came to Yunmeng for. The Wen clan of Qishan's new inspection order. We'll be building an Overwatch office in every city. I declare that from day onward, Lotus Pier is the Wen clan's Yunmeng's Overwatch office. No wonder she had been wandering around Lotus Pier earlier, making herself at home. She truly had claimed Lotus Pier as her new home in Yunmeng. Zhang Cheng's eyes were red. What Overwatch office? This is my home! Wang Lingzhou furrowed her brows. Madame Yu, you have to manage your son properly, too. All other cultivation clans have been the Wen clan's subject for centuries. How can he say things like, my home, your home, in front of the Wen clan's envoy? I was hesitant at first, unsure if Lotus Pier could bear the responsibility of being the Overwatch office. What, with it being such an old place and all, having produced a few rebels. But after I saw how well you obeyed my orders, not to mention how well your temper suits my taste, I've decided to give this honor... She hadn't finished when Madame Yu slapped her soundly across the face. Both the power of the slap and the noise it produced were earth-shattering. Wang Lingzhou was sent whirling around a few times from the force before she fell to the ground, like so Looney Tunes, like, whoa! Oof. Her nose bleeding profusely and making a mess of the floor. Her pretty eyes were round and wide with shock. There were a number of Wen sect disciples inside the main hall. Their faces changed color, and they all drew their swords. With a wave of Madame Yu's hand, Zidian shot forth. It slashed a half-circle of blinding purple light and felled every target within range. With poise and elegance, Madame Yu walked Wang Lingzhao's side, looking down at her with palpable disdain. She leaned down and grabbed a handful of Wang Lingzhao's hair, hauling her head up to deliver another furious slap. "How dare you, lowly maid!" Her tolerance had run dry. Her savage expression was inches from Wang Lingzhao's lopsided and swollen face, which was writ large with terror. Wang Lingzhao started shrieking horribly. Ignoring the noise, Madame Yu gave her another slap, which brought her ear-piercing screams to an abrupt halt. "Before you beat a dog, check who its master is," she bellowed. "You barge into my home and see fit to punish my people on my behalf? Who are you to act so insolent here?" She heaved Wang Lingzhao's head aside and took out her handkerchief to wipe her hands, as if disgusted to have touched such filth. Kenzie, thank you for being a Supreme member for 19 months. Oh my gosh, Kenzie. Kenzie says, "Oh my god, 19 months! Today was my first day at my new job and it went well. I'm excited for this new chapter of my life." Oh my god, congrats, dude. I'm so excited to hear that you got a new job. You're with your wife. You moved across the country. I'm so happy to hear that, Kenzie. That's amazing. Keep giving us updates. I'd love to hear more. That's awesome. And thank you again so much for 19 months, Kenzie. Jinzhu and Yinzhu stood behind their mistress, wearing the same mocking smile as her. Wang Lingzhao's hands shook as she cupped her face. Tears rolled down her cheeks as she stammered threats. Scorpius, thank you for sending a donation. Do you think Madame Yu would have actually cut off Wei Wuxian's arm if Wang Lingzhao had not brought up the Overwatch office? I don't know. I see everybody in the chat saying yes. I feel like, you know, that was clearly the thing that made her switch up. But when she told the guards to close the doors because she didn't want them to see blood, I thought she, like, in her head was already thinking of, like, beating up Wang Lingzhao. Like, when she's like, I thought she was kind of playing the game there, like, close the door so they don't see the blood. So Wang Lingzhao would be like, ha, yes, she's gonna chop off his arm. And maybe she was already thinking of beating her, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Yeah, B said, right, like the door closing was close the door so I can do something to the Wens without alerting all of them at once. But also, could be wrong. Maybe she was fully like, yeah, fuck Wei Wuxian. I'm happy to cut off his arm. Wang Lingzhao's hands shook as she cupped her face. Tears rolled down her cheeks as she stammered threats. You dare do this to me! The Wen clan of Qishan and the Wang clan of Yingchuan won't let you get away with this! Madame Yu tossed the handkerchief to the ground and kicked Wang Lingzhao back to the floor alongside it. "Shut your mouth," she ordered, "you lowly maid. My Yu clan of Meishan is an esteemed family with centuries of history. Never have I heard of some Wang clan of Yingchuan. What vulgar hole did they crawl from? Are they all worthless like you? Hierarchy. I'll teach you what hierarchy is. I am superior, and you are inferior." Damn. To the side, Zheng Cheng was helping the prone Wei Wuxian to his feet. Both were completely dumbstruck at the scene that had just played out. Madame Yu turned her head and signaled with her eyes. Jinzhu and Yinzhu understood immediately and drew their long swords. They circled the hall, moving swiftly and mercilessly to deliver a coup de grace to each of the dozen-some Wen disciples. Seeing that her own turn was coming up, Wang Lingzhao sputtered threats as she put up a last-ditch struggle. Do you think you can silence me? You think Wang Gongzi doesn't know where I am right now? You think he'll let you off when he finds out? Yinzhu sneered. You say that as if he's already let us off. I'm close to Wen Gongzi, very close. I'm his woman, Wang Lingzhao exclaimed. If you dare lay your hands on me, he'll... Madame Yu raised her hand and slapped her again. He'll what? She mocked. Chop off our hands and our legs? Burn down our residence? Send people to raze Lotus Pier to the ground? Establish an overwatch here? Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe that, actually. Orion, well, you see. Yes, actually, all of those things. Shit. Oh, fuck. The only time you've been right, Madame Yu. Oh, fuck. Jinzhu approached with sword in hand. Fear filled Wang Lingzhou's eyes. She cowered and scrambled backwards, kicking out her legs as she shrieked. Men, help! Wen Julio, save me! Sorry, I read that silly. Madame Yu's expression hardened. She stomped her heel down hard on Wang Lingzhou's wrist and drew her sword. Just as the blade was about to come slashing down, it was suddenly struck back with a clang. Wei Wuxian and Zheng Cheng turned their heads to look. The doors to the hall blew thunderously open as a tall, strapping man broke through. I've always liked him. He was dressed in all black and wore a sullen expression. It was Wen Chao's personal bodyguard, the one with remarkable cultivation, Wen Julio. With her sword knocked out of her hand, Madame Yu held Zidian level with her chest. Core-melting hand? How do you two know each other? With her, Wen Julio coldly returned the courtesy. Purple spider? Like, fuck! She should have married core-melting hand. I ship them. I ship core spider hand. Violet core spider hand. Ugh. Madame Yu's foot was still firmly planted on Wang Lingzhou's wrist. The latter's face was contorted with pain, and tears and snot flowed freely as she wailed, Wen Julio, hurry up and save me! Madame Yu snorted. Wen Julio? Core melting hand? Isn't your original name Zhao Julio? Your surname clearly isn't Wen, and yet you insist on changing it at any cost. Look at the lot of you, falling over yourselves to do it. Is the Wen dog's name that valuable? Forgetting your roots and turning your back on your ancestry. How laughable. Unmoved, Wen Julio replied stoically, each for his own master. I want to know more about him. They had only exchanged a few words, but already Wang Lingzhou had had enough and started shrieking again. Wen Julio! Can't you see the state I'm in right now? Why are you still wasting time chit-chatting with her instead of killing her? Wen Gongsa told you to protect me, and this is how you do it? You'd better watch it, or I'll report you, and there'll be hell to pay. Madame Yu ground her heel into her wrist, and Wang Lingzhou screeched in pain and burst into more tears. Wen Julio wrinkled his brow. It was on Wen Rohan's orders that he protect Wen Chao, whose character he disliked to begin with. How could he have known that things would only get worse from there, with Wen Chao assigning him to protect Wang Lingzhou? This woman was pompous, boastful, and stupid, not to mention vicious, of all which incurred Wen Julio's displeasure. But unhappy as he was, he couldn't defy Wen Rohan and Wen Chao's orders and crush her like an ant. Fortunately, Wang Lingzhou detested Wen Julio in equal measure and ordered him to only follow her from afar. He was not permitted to show himself before her unless she ordered him to, out of sight, out of mind. But the woman was now on the verge of losing her life, and Wen Chao would definitely fly off the handle and make him pay if he stood by and did nothing. And if Wen Chao wouldn't let the matter drop, neither would Wen Rohan. Pardon my offense, Wen Julio said. Nothing but posturing, Madame Yu scoffed. Zidian whirled toward Wen Julio, who raised his large hand and seized it without the slightest concern. Oof. It's pretty cool. Wei Wuxian's wig said, you should be a voice actor. That's definitely how I imagine her to sound. I'm glad you like it. In its whip form, Zidian coursed with currents of spiritual power. Its intensity and lethality were under the absolute control of its master, and Madame Yu had long burned to slaughter every last one of these Wen dogs. Quinn, thank you for donating, Quinn. Quinn says, plot twist, she accuses her husband of cheating because she actually cheated years ago with Korhand and doesn't know who the real father of Zheng Cheng is. Oh shit! That's pretty good. I like that. I like that. And Zheng Fengmian knows. But she doesn't know he knows. Furthermore, she was deeply apprehensive of Wen Julio. The current of spiritual power that hurtled at him was thus deathly fierce, and yet Wen Julio seized it so effortlessly. Zidian had never encountered such an opponent in all its years of existence. Seeing the whip be seized, Madame Yu stalled for a fleeting second, and Wang Lingjiao used this chance to scramble away. She fumbled a signal flare from her robes and shook it twice. A flash of fire shot forth from the tube with a sharp whistle and broke through the wooden window to explode in the sky. She fished out a second, and then a third. With her hair disheveled, she rambled, "Here, here, come here, all of you, come here!" Gritting his teeth against the pain, Wei Wuxian gave Zheng Cheng a shove. "Don't let her send off any more signals!" Zheng Cheng let go of Wei Wuxian and rushed to chase after Wang Lingjiao, but Wen Julio rushed Madame Yu in the moment, and it looked like his blow was going to land. "Mom!" cried Zheng Cheng. He immediately abandoned Wang Lingjiao and threw himself over. Wen Julio didn't even look back as he struck out with his palm. "Not by a long shot!" The blow hit Zheng Cheng's shoulder, and blood burst from his mouth. The grayish blue night sky was filled with resplendent light and shrill whistles. Wang Lingjiao had set off all the signal flares. Seeing Zheng Cheng injured, Madame Yu howled with rage. In a split second, the light of Zidian's spiritual power amplified enormously, flaring so bright it was dazzling white. The sudden discharge from Zidian flung Wen Julio hard against the wall. Jinzu and Yinju each drew long whips, sizzling with electricity, and began to engage him in combat. The handmaids had been very close to Madame Yu ever since they were young and trained under the same teacher, so their combined attacks were a force to be reckoned with. Using the time this bought her, Madame Yu lifted the immobilized Zheng Cheng and Wei Wuxian, one under each arm, oh my god, she is like the fucking mama bear, and dashed out of the hall. There were still many sect disciples gathered in the drilling grounds. Madame Yu barked, "Fall into formation and gear up!" "Uncle, the fuck up!" She rushed to the dock, carrying the two boys. There were always 7 or 8 small boats moored at Lotus Pier's dock, which were used by the Zheng disciples to roam the lake and pick lotuses. Madame Yu tossed them into a boat and jumped on as well, then grabbed Zheng Cheng's hand to help him calm his qi. Since he was not severely injured, Zheng Cheng only coughed up a mouthful of blood. "Mom, what should we do?" "What do you mean, what should we do?" Madame Yu replied. "Can't you see? They came prepared. This battle was unavoidable. A horde of Wen dogs will descend at any moment. Leave now, both of you." "What about Shijie?" Wei Wuxian asked. "Shijie went to Meishan the day before yesterday. If she comes back here—" "Shut your mouth!" Madame Yu snapped at him. "This is all because of you, you little— This is all your fault!" Wei Wuxian could only fall silent. Madame Yu removed Zidian's silver ring from her right finger and slipped it onto the same finger of Zheng Cheng's hand. Is that, like... I know what happens, right? Core Melting Hand hit Zheng Cheng. Is that it? Like, in my head, I'm like, does he go back and get hit again? Or was that the fucking blow that does everything? Like, it was that simple. He jumped out to save his mom. And it was just like a quick instant, just... No, that was not the blow. Okay. Great. Core Melting Hand wasn't charged up yet. Stunned, Zheng Cheng said, "Mom, why are you giving me Zidian?" "It's yours now that I've given it to you." Wait. We have props. This is what's happening in the scene. He's like, oh shit, and then she comes in. I'm Madame Yu. And she comes in, and she goes, and she puts it on him. No, his sleeveys are too long. She puts it on him like this. And she says, "Get on the fucking boat." And he's like, Mom, why are you giving me Zidian?" Here we go. He can sit with us for the rest of the stream. Wei Wuxian's wig said this is exactly what happened. His belt is falling off. You're right. Oh no! Zheng Cheng, no! This would be so Zheng Cheng coded if the first time he gets to wear Zidian, his pants fall down. Don't worry, I'll fix your belt, sweetie. There we go. Stitch was actually gonna make little boxers for him. I did lose his shoes, but that's okay. That's just a thing that happens when you have mini dolls. The shoes, you always lose the shoes. Okay. Mom, why are you giving me Zidian? It's yours now that I've given it to you, Madame Yu replied. Zidian has already acknowledged you as its master. Jung Chung looked lost. Mom, aren't you coming with us? Madame Yu gazed at his face. All of a sudden, she pulled him into a hug. She pressed a couple of kisses into his hair as she held him in her arms. My dear boy, she murmured. She hugged him so tight, it was as if she yearned to turn Jung Chung into a tiny baby once more and stuff him back into her belly so no one could ever hurt him or tear them apart. Jung Chung had never been hugged by his mother like this before, let alone kissed in such a way. His head lay buried in her chest, his eyes wide in shock. He was at a complete loss at how to react. That's so fucking sad. Like, that means she had that in her, right? Oh my god. Why are you giving me Zidian? Why are you fixing my pants? Man, it's just so, like, give me the AU where they are a happy family and Yu Zijuan is able to give her the affection that she wishes she could. One arm hugging Jung Chung, Madame Yu seized Wei Wuxian by the collar with her free hand, looking like she wanted to choke him to death. Don't worry, we can also act this one out. She's like, my sweet baby, I have put you in my bosom. I love you. Please go back in my belly. You! Motherfucker! Oh, I'm so sorry it came to this. Sorry, he lost a boot. Isn't this version of the Wei Wuxian mini doll so cute? I never really liked the other one where he has the ponytail and he's like, "Duh." I like this one. This one's my favorite one. And this one is a fan-made one, I'm pretty sure. B says, I like Ponytail Mini doll. He is so goofy. He is goofy, you're right. And it would have been better for the reenactment. But keep my babies with me. My bosom isn't big enough. Even the broke Yiling Laozu got shoes and Jung Chung has none. I know, I wish there was like a bulk barn for mini dolls where I could just go get a bunch of black little shoes. And white shoes, actually, because I'm gonna have a bunch of land boys without shoes on, too. Okay. You damn brat, she hissed through clenched teeth. Hateful, how absolutely hateful. Look what disaster you've brought on our family. How could she fucking say that? Like, clearly what Wei Wuxian did in the cave is being misrepresented by Wang Lingjiao. Like, oh my god. Yeah, Wei Wuxian was the one who brought up Yanli first, right? Wei Wuxian's chest heaved violently and words failed him. This time, he was not forcing himself to endure in silence or mentally grumbling retorts. He was truly rendered speechless. Jung Chung anxiously asked again, Mom, aren't you coming with us? Madame Yu released him at once and pushed him onto Wei Wuxian. She leapt onto the dock, and the little boat rocked from side to side on the lake from the action. Zheng Cheng finally understood. Jinzu, Yinju, the disciples, and the spiritual weapons and heirlooms that had been passed down through the Zheng clan of Yunmeng for generations, they were all in Lotus Pier. There was no way to evacuate all, or even any of them, on such short notice. A fierce battle would no doubt break out very soon. As the mistress of the house, Madame Yu could not retreat, but she feared for her son. In an act of selfishness and desperation, she was forcing them to escape. Knowing the extreme danger that awaited after they parted, Zheng Cheng was stricken with panic. He stood up and attempted to follow her off the boat, but a current suddenly sparked from Zidian. It transformed into an electric cord that wrapped and bound them both securely on the boat, rendered completely immobile. "Mom, what are you doing?" Zheng Cheng cried out. Oh no, his little headpiece came off. That's okay. This doll actually didn't come with a headpiece, and Stitch actually made this. Isn't that so cute? Oh, Orion, thank you for your donation. Rip Madame Yu. She might have been awful, but at least she was hot. 07. Yeah, amen to that. His pants keep falling down. Oops. Good night, Kate. Okay. Oh man, this part's so fucked up. Stop making a fuss, Madame Yu said. It will release its grip when you reach a safe place. Zidian will protect you if you encounter any danger along the way. Don't come back. Head straight for Mei Shan and look for your sister. She then turned and pointed at Wei Wuxian, instructing him sharply. Wei Ying, heed me. Protect Zheng Cheng well. Even in death, you have to keep him safe. Do you understand? Madame Yu, Wei Wuxian called out. Do you understand? Madame Yu raged. Save me all your other nonsense. I'm only asking you one thing. Do you understand? Unable to break free of Zidian, Wei Wuxian could only give a heavy nod. Mom! Zheng Cheng shouted. Father isn't back yet. Whatever happens, can't we try to face it together? Uh-oh. At the mention of Zheng Fengmian, Madame Yu's eyes seemed to redden for a moment. After a moment, she loudly cursed. If he doesn't come back, then so be it. Do you think I can't manage without him? She brandished her sword and cut the rope that tethered the boat to the dock, then gave the side of the boat a heavy kick. This kick, paired with the rapid currents of the river and strong wind, immediately sent the boat drifting out a dozen meters. It whirled around a few times before beginning to sail smoothly and swiftly down the center of the river. Zheng Cheng let loose a heartbreaking wail. Oh, Mom! He called for her dozens of times, but Madame Yu and Lotus Pier receded further and further into the distance. After the boat had drifted far away, Madame Yu walked back through the main gates of Lotus Pier with a flash of purple robes, long sword in hand. Both Zheng Cheng and Wei Wuxian did all they could to struggle free. Zidian did not loosen an inch, even as it began to dig into their flesh from their attempts. Zheng Cheng howled like a furious madman as they thrashed. Why is it still not breaking? Come on, break! Break! Wei Wuxian had just taken a dozen lashes from Zidian and was still in agony. He knew it was impossible to break free, that it was all in vain. Remembering that Zheng Cheng had sustained injuries as well, he endured the pain and tried to speak. Zheng Cheng, calm down. Madame Yu might not lose against Core Melting Hand. Didn't she beat Wen Julio back earlier? How can I calm down? How? Zheng Cheng roared. Even if she kills Wen Julio, that bitch Wang Lingjiao already shot off all those signals. What if the Wen dogs see and sends forces to besiege our home? Way ahead of you, kid. Wei Wuxian knew very well that it was impossible for him to calm down, but there had to be at least one clear head between the two of them. Just as he was about to continue talking, his eyes suddenly lit up. Zheng Shushu, he shouted. Zheng Shushu is back! Sure enough, another vessel on the river was sailing towards them. Zheng Fengmian stood at the bow of the large boat, his robes flapping in the sailing wind as he gazed in Lotus Pier's direction. There were over a dozen sect disciples milling on the deck as well. Father! Father! Zheng Cheng shouted. Zheng Fengmian had seen them as well and appeared slightly shocked at the sight. One of the sect disciples took up the oar to approach. Still in the dark about what had just transpired, Zheng Fengmian asked in astonishment, Cheng? Ying? What happened to you two? The boys of Lotus Pier often played weird games. Seeing the two of them tied up, he's like, just another one of your weird games. He didn't realize the gravity of the situation. Jung Chung, however, was so happy he was driven to tears. With panicked urgency, he urged, Father, Father, free us quickly! That's your mother Zidian, and Zidian knows who its masters are, Zhang Fengmian said. It probably won't allow me to. He reached out to Zidian as he spoke, and had only just touched it when it unexpectedly retracted itself obediently. Now this is important here. This is important. It instantly transformed into a ring that coiled around one of his fingers. Zhang Fengmian promptly froze at the sight. Zidian was a top-grade spiritual weapon that belonged to Yu Ziyuan, and her will was its first and foremost command. It could acknowledge multiple masters, but in an order of a hierarchy, and Madame Yu was undoubtedly its undisputed primary master. She had commanded it to bind Zhang Chung until he was safe, which was why Zhang Chung could not break free, even though he was also one of its recognized masters. It appeared Zhang Fengmian had been recognized as Zidian's secondary master, though there was no telling when that had happened. So, that's sad. It had judged them safe in his presence and therefore loosened the binding. However, Madame Yu had never mentioned that, as she'd instructed Zidian to acknowledge Zhang Fengmian as a master. Finally separated, Zhang Chung and Wei Wuxian threw themselves apart and collapsed. What is going on? Zhang Fengmian questioned. Why were you two sitting in a boat bound by Zidian? Zhang Chung clutched onto him as though he were a lifeline. Today the Wens came to our home. Mom got into a dispute with them and started fighting with Core Melting Hand. I'm scared she'll be outnumbered. Someone set off signal flares, so there might be even more enemies on the way. Father, let's hurry back together to help her. Let's go now. The sect disciples all appeared shocked to hear this. Core Melting Hand? Zhang Fengmian repeated. Zhang Chung confirmed. That's right, Father, we... Before he could finish, there was a flash of purple light, and Zhang Chung and Wei Wuxian were once again bound. Both of them fell back into the boat, in the same position as before. Oh, fuck! Oh. I will go back, Zhang Fengmian said. You two will leave. Do not look back, and do not return to Lotus Pier. Once ashore, immediately find a way to head for Meishan and look for your sister and grandmother. Zhang Shushu, Wei Wuxian cried out. Once the shock passed, Zhang Chung frantically kicked at the side of the boat, sending it rocking incessantly. Father, release me! Let me go! I will go back and find San Nangzi, Zhang Fengmian stated. Zhang Chung glared at him. Can't we go back to find her together? Zhang Fengmian gazed steadily back at him. He suddenly reached out. His hand paused in midair for a moment before slowly stroking Zhang Chung's head. Ah Chung, be well. Zhang Shushu, Wei Wuxian pleaded. He'll never be okay if anything happens to you. Zhang Fengmian shifted his gaze over to Wei Wuxian. Ah Ying, look after Ah Chung. He returned once more to its large vessel. Both boats brushed past each other, then drifted further and further apart. Zhang Chung screamed in despair. Dad! Oh, shit! Oh my god. In the end, he did stroke Zhang Chung's face, and not Wei Wuxian's face. Oh, Mad Kitty says, I got Hua Chung and Shelian the other day for my birthday. That's exciting. Happy birthday. I loved that Zhang Fengmian was like, oh shit, I'm a master, damn. Like, even he was unaware of the, I guess, respect that Yu Ziyuan had for him, at least in some regard, you know? Okay, part 2. The little boat flowed downstream with the current. It was some time before Zidian loosened its grip and transformed back into a silver ring on Zhang Chung's hand. Having yelled the entire way, their voices had long since gone hoarse. They said not a word after being released from the binding, but immediately began to sail back to where they'd come from. They had no oars, so they paddled with their hands against the current. Madame Yu had said he wouldn't recover from the lashes he'd taken for at least a month, but in that moment, Wei Wuxian felt like his ability to move was barely affected at all. He could push past the searing, stinging pain in the areas where the lash had hit. With a burst of energy, only felt by those on the brink of death, they paddled desperately. Finally, more than 2 hours later, paddling their boat with nothing but their bare hands, they made it back to Lotus Pier. It was already deep into the night. The main gates of Lotus Pier were tightly shut, and the area outside was bright with lights. Fragments of moonlight shimmered on the crystalline waters where dozens of large, colored lanterns shaped like 9-petaled lotuses floated quietly by the dock. Everything was the same as it had been, and that was precisely what magnified their unease to the point of agony. The two paddled in and stopped when they reached the center of the lake. Their hearts pounded wildly while they sat there in the water. They didn't dare approach the dock, nor did they dare rush ashore to check on the situation inside. Okay, I forgot that they actually made it back. Jung Chung's eyes welled with hot tears, and his arms and legs were shaking. After a long while, Wei Wuxian said, "Oh, because then he goes back again for..." Oh my god, okay. "Let's not enter from the front gates." Jung Chung managed an unsteady nod. Both of them soundlessly paddled the boat to the other side of the lake. There was an old willow tree rooted on the bank, with a thick, sturdy trunk that slanted over the water and branches that trailed onto the surface. The boys of Lotus Pier would often walk along the trunk of this particular willow tree to sit and fish from the treetop. The two stopped the boat behind the weeping trails of the old willow and headed ashore under the cover of the night in the willow's branches. Wei Wuxian, who was used to climbing over walls, tugged at Jung Chung. "This way," he whispered. Jung Chung was overwhelmed with terror and alarm. He could barely keep his bearings as he followed Wei Wuxian and pressed close to the wall, creeping low for a moment before silently scaling it. There was a row of sculptures in the shape of beasts' heads lining the top of the wall, which made it a suitable spot for spying. In the past, they were always the ones being peeked at by people who'd sneakily scaled the walls, but now they were the ones peeking in. I thought making it a puppet show would make it a bit less traumatizing, yeah. Wei Wuxian craned his neck to look. Immediately, his heart sank. Rows and rows of people stood in Lotus Pier's drilling grounds, all wearing blazing sun uniforms with flames embroidered on their collars, lapels, and sleeves. The flames were a glaring, blood-like shade of red. In contrast to those standing, there were also many sprawling and prone. The fallen ones had already been moved to the northwest corner of the drilling grounds, all piled together in a haphazard heap. One person stood with his back to Wei Wuxian and Jung Chung. His head was lowered, as if he was inspecting the pile of Jung disciples. Whether those people were alive or dead, Wei Wuxian and Jung Chung couldn't tell. Jung Chung was still frantically searching for the figure of Yu Zhiyuan and Zheng Fengmian, but Wei Wuxian instantly teared up. He saw a number of familiar faces in that pile of disciples. His throat was dry and painful. His temples felt as if they had been slammed with hammers, and he felt cold all over. He didn't dare think about Zheng Fengmian and Yu Zhiyuan. Just as he was about to take a closer look to determine whether the skinny boy sprawled at the very top was Liu Shidi, the person standing at the northwest corner turned around, seeming to sense something. Wei Wuxian immediately pressed Jung Chung's head down and lowered his own. Although he ducked in time, he still got a clear look at the person's face. It was a young man, about the same age as them. He was tall and thin, with fine, delicate features. His jet-black eyes were a stark contrast to his ghastly pale skin. Wenning! Although he was wearing a blazing sun uniform, he did not have an imposing aura about him. If anything, he looked a little too refined and gentle. The particular sun pattern on his robes marked his official rank as one of the Wen clan's young masters. Wei Wuxian's heart jumped into his throat. Were we spotted? Should we make a break for it, or are we still in the clear? Just then, the sound of delicate weeping rose from within the enclosing wall. Amid the sounds of footsteps, a man comforted in a gentle voice. "Stop crying, your face is all stained." Wei Wuxian and Jung Chung were both very well acquainted with this voice. It was Wen Chao! Wang Lingjiao's simpering soon followed. "Will you not like me anymore if my face is all stained?" "How could that be?" Wen Chao coaxed. "I like Jiao Jiao no matter what Jiao Jiao looks like." Wang Lingjiao had worked herself up into quite a state. "I was really so scared. Today I really thought that bitch would kill me and I'd never see you again. Wen Gongse, Wen Chao seemed to have hugged her. "Stop obsessing over it, Jiao Jiao. Everything's over now. Fortunately, Wen Juliao protected you." "Don't bring him up!" Wang Lingjiao whined angrily. "That Wen Juliao, I hate him! If he hadn't come so late, I wouldn't have suffered so much. My face still hurts so much. Ow!" She was clearly the one who had previously dismissed Wen Juliao, ordering him to stay out of her sight. Getting beaten was her own doing, but she was once again twisting the narrative. Wen Chao loved seeing her play the aggrieved coquette. No, ow, here, let me rub. It's fine if you don't like him, but you mustn't test his patience. That guy's got remarkable cultivation. My father had said many times that he's a rare talent, so I'm hoping I can still use him for a few more years." Wang Lingzhao still refused to concede. Talent, so what? Sect leader Wen has so many renowned cultivators and so many talents under his command. Thousands of them. Don't tell me he can't do without him in that count. She was hinting that Wen Chao should punish Wen Juliao to appease her anger. Wen Chao chuckled. He might dote on Wang Lingzhao, but not enough to punish his own bodyguard for a woman's sake. After all, Wen Juliao had thwarted countless assassination attempts on him. Furthermore, he was a tight-lipped man of few words and would never betray his father, which meant he would never betray Wen Chao either. Such a loyal and powerful bodyguard was a rarity. I'm like, did he fall for Wen Rohan? Like, did him and Wen Rohan have something with Lan Shiren back in the day? B says, if an incel and a Discord kitten were flirting like this in front of my parents and all my friends' corpses, I would lose it. Yeah. CSCL says, if the lands had to burn down their library, but as far as we know, weren't really destroyed, why decimate the Zheng sect like this? Yeah, I think it was because of how Wei Wuxian acted in the cave to Wen Chao. Wen Chao was really mad about that. And then, yeah. Sensing that he was dismissing her whining, Wang Lingzhao added, look at him, he's a nobody, just your subordinate, and yet so arrogant. He wouldn't even let me slap that you bitch earlier. She was already dead. Fuck. No! Just a corpse. He looks down on me. Doesn't that mean he looks down on you too? Core melting hand wouldn't let her slap Yu Xuan's corpse. Fuck. Oh. Now that's a crumb. That is a crumb. And I'm shipping it. But also, fuck. This is how we fucking find out. This is how Zheng Cheng fucking finds out. Zheng Cheng lost his grip and slid down the wall. Wei Wuxian deftly grabbed him by the back of his collar and stopped his descent. Hot tears brimmed in their eyes. The drops rolled down their cheeks, splashed onto the back of their hands, onto the ground. Wei Wuxian recalled how Zheng Fengmian had fought with Madame Yu before he went out this morning. No! I mean, not that that was odd, but their last words that had passed between them had not been gentle or pleasant. He wondered if they'd managed to see each other one last time, and if Zheng Fengmian had a chance to say even one word more to Madame Yu. Wen Chao was completely unconcerned. That's just him being eccentric, talking about how an honorable person maybe— oh, there's like a typo here. There's no space between person and maybe. An honorable person may be killed, but not humiliated. He's the one who did all the killing, so what's the point in spouting that scholarly stuff? Exactly, Wang Lingzhao agreed. What a hypocrite. Wen Chao, who loved to hear her agree with him, laughed happily. That bitch deserved it, Wang Lingzhao gloated again. She used her family's power and influence to force the man to marry her, and look how that turned out. What good did marriage do? He still didn't like her. Everyone laughed at the forsaken wife behind her back for 10 years, and she still didn't take the hint. Rather than take it down a notch, she just kept on being arrogant and domineering. She really deserved an end like this. Really? Wen Chao wondered. The woman was quite attractive. Why didn't Zheng Fengmian like her? In his worldview, there was no reason for a man not to like a woman as long as she was good looking. The women who should be spurned were the ones who were plain or would not sleep with him. It's obvious if you think about it, Wang Lingzhao explained. The bitch was so aggressive. She's clearly a woman, yet she went around waving that whip of hers all day and slapping people's faces. So ill-bred. Zheng Fengmian really had the worst luck to marry a woman like that and be dragged down by her. Indeed, Wen Chao chimed in. Women, I say, should be like my Zhao Zhao, lovable and obedient, gentle and adorable, and wholeheartedly on my side. Wang Lingzhao giggled. Listening to these revolting, uncouth vulgarities, Wei Wuxian shook with both grief and anger. He was worried that Zheng Cheng would go berserk, but he was stiff as a stone, as if he'd passed out from the sheer weight of his despair. Wang Lingzhao muttered under her breath, Of course I only side with you. Who else would I side with? Just then, another voice interjected. Wengongzi, every building has been searched. The count of spiritual weapons is over 2,400. They are currently being sorted. That was the property of Lotus Pier, the belongings of the Zheng family. Wenqiao laughed heartily. Great! Fantastic! Times like these call for a grand celebration. Let's have a feast here tonight. Make the best use of everything. Hi, Night Owl! Bye, Night Owl! Congratulations to Gongsa for becoming the master of Lotus Pier, Wang Lingjiao simpered. What Lotus Pier? Change the name, Wenqiao said. Tear down all the doors with 9-petaled lotus insignia and have them replaced with the Wen clan of Qishan's son. Jiao Jiao, come here and perform your best song and dance for me. Wei Wuxian and Zhang Cheng could not bring themselves to continue listening. They hopped off the wall, hobbling and stumbling away from Lotus Pier, but even after running a long way, they couldn't shake off the merry chatter of the crowd at the drilling ground. A woman's coquettish singing voice wafted cheerfully over Lotus Pier like a poisoned blade, slicing their ears and hearts again and again. They had run thousands of meters in one breath when Zhang Cheng abruptly came to a halt. Wei Wuxian did the same. Zhang Cheng turned back and Wei Wuxian grabbed him. Zhang Cheng, what are you doing? Don't go back! Zhang Cheng shook off his hand. Don't go back? What are you saying? You're telling me not to go back? My parents' bodies are still in Lotus Pier. Am I to simply leave them there? Where else can I go if not back? Wei Wuxian tightened his grip on him. What can you do if you go back? They killed Zhang Shushu and Madame Yu. It's certain death for you if you go back. Then so be it, Zhang Cheng screamed at him. Go fuck off if you're scared to die, but don't block my way. Wei Wuxian moved to tackle him. It's never too late to take revenge. Their bodies must be retrieved, but not right now. Zhang Cheng dodged aside and counterattacked. If not now, then when? I've had enough of you. Fuck off! Zhang Shushu and Madame Yu told me to look after you, Wei Wuxian shouted furiously. They want you to be well. Shut up! Zhang Cheng roared angrily. He shoved him hard. Why? Wei Wuxian tumbled into the grass and Zhang Cheng pounced on him. He lifted Wei Wuxian by the collar and shook him incessantly. Why? 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 Are you happy now? Are you satisfied? Zhang Cheng's eyes were bloodshot as he closed his hands on Wei Wuxian's neck and began to squeeze. Why did you have to save Lam Wangji? Oh, fuck. Why? 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 Sorry. I'm sorry. I don't know what to say, but I'm sorry. Why? I mean, come on. Justamy says, it always came back to you chose him over me from day one. Oh. Yeah. Zhang Cheng believes his family chose Wei Wuxian over him, and then now believes Wei Wuxian chose Lam Wangji over him. Ugh. Overcome by grief and rage, Zhang Cheng had lost his mind and couldn't control his strength. Wei Wuxian tried to pry off his wrists. Zhang Cheng! Zhang Cheng pinned him to the ground and snarled at him. Why did you have to save Lam Wangji? Why did you have to meddle when you could have stayed out of it? How many times have I told you not to stir up trouble, not to fight? Sorry, I'm being called. Sorry, in the middle of that emotional scene. I went from why to my dad being like, why is the AC on? sorry, turn it back to heat. Okay. Let's go back. Why did you have to save Lam Wangji? Why did you have to meddle when you could have stayed out of it? How many times have I told you not to stir up trouble, not to fight? Do you like playing the hero so much? Do you see what happens when you play hero? Huh? Are you happy now? If Lan Wangji, Jin Sizhuan, and the rest die, then so be it. Let them die. What does it matter to us if they die? What has it got to do with our family? So why? Why? Go die. Go and die. All of you, go and die. Die! Wei Wuxian's face was red from suffocation. Zhang Cheng! The hands strangling him suddenly loosened their grip. Zhang Cheng leveled a glare at him, tears tumbling down his cheeks. From deep within his throat escaped the sorrowful, anguished moan of one near death. I want my parents, my mom and dad, he wept. He asked Wei Wuxian for his father and his mother, but it didn't matter who he asked. They would never return to him again. You know what's kind of crazy? Is that Zhang Cheng was not treated well by his family at all, yet in every scene when his mom appears, he always greets her with a smile, and he is always vying for his dad's affection. And then in these moments of like where you could choose to be a hero or do the safest thing to protect your family, he always chose his family, even though they treated him like shit. In another story, he could have been a character that resented his family and was like, fuck them, I'm gonna go be the hero. I'm gonna protect people that deserve to be saved and not my family that's never treated me with respect. But instead, no matter what, he always chose his family. It's so sad. God, it's kind of like a beaten dog will still go to its owner kind of thing. Wei Wuxian wept as well. The two slumped back on the grass and watched each other cry bitter tears. Deep down, Zhang Cheng knew very well that even if Wei Wuxian had not saved— I just remembered what happens to Yanli. Oh my fucking god! Oh my god! Literally all Zhang Cheng cares about is his family. Oh my fucking god! Oh shit. Deep down, Zhang Cheng knew very well that even if Wei Wuxian had not saved Lan Wangji in the Xuanwu of Slaughter's cave at Mount Muxi, the Wens would have found a reason to come knocking sooner or later. But he couldn't help but think that had it not been for Wei Wuxian, perhaps it wouldn't have happened so soon. Perhaps there would have still been time to salvage the situation. That perhaps was agonizing. With no outlet to vent them, his remorse and fury consumed him and tore him apart with grief. When day broke, Zhang Cheng was almost lifeless. Fuck. He had somehow managed to sleep a bit that night, primarily because he was so exhausted from weeping that he involuntarily passed out. The second reason was his delirious hope that this was all just a nightmare. He desperately hoped to open his eyes and find himself lying in his room in Lotus Pier. His father would be there, sitting in the hall, reading as he polished his sword. His mother would be there, losing her temper and grumbling as she scolded Wei Wuxian for wrinkling and pulling funny faces. His older sister would be crouched in the kitchen, dazed and racking her brain for what to cook today. His fellow Shidi would be there, shirking their morning lessons and bouncing around. He did not wake up to any of these scenes. Instead, after being exposed to the cold wind all night, he awoke with a splitting headache and found himself curled up in the overgrown grass behind a desolate and remote hillside. Wei Wuxian was the first to move. With some difficulty, he pushed himself up, hands on his thighs. "Let's go," he said in a hoarse voice. Zhang Cheng remained motionless. Wei Wuxian tried again. He reached to pull him up. "Let's go." "Go where?" Zhang Cheng asked, his voice dry and raw. "To the Yu clan at Meishan, to look for Shijie." Zhang Cheng waved away his outstretched hand. After a moment, he pushed himself up and slowly stood. Both set off in the direction of Meishan, traveling on foot. Along the way, they both forced themselves to keep their spirits up. Their gaits were heavy, as if they carried a mighty burden on their shoulders. Zhang Cheng kept his head lowered the entire way. He kept his right arm pressed close to his heart, stroking the ring on his index finger, Zidian, the only remaining memento of his loved ones. He kept looking back in the direction of Lotus Pier, staring back at what had once been his home, but was now reduced to a nest of devils. Again and again, he looked back as if he would never tire of looking, as if he would always harbor a tiny bit of hope. All the while, tears poured ceaselessly from his eyes. They had fled in a hurry and had brought no rations with them. After walking for half a day, they started to feel dizzy. It was clear they had overexerted themselves, and so they left the desolate wilderness and entered a small city. Wei Wuxian glanced at Jiang Cheng, seeing his utter exhaustion and reluctance to keep moving around. "Go sit down, I'll find us some food." Jiang Cheng didn't say a word, nor did he nod. All throughout their trek that day, he'd only said a few words total to Wei Wuxian. Before walking away, Wei Wuxian repeatedly exhorted him to sit still and not move. At least they weren't too short of money. They had a habit of hiding small change in various corners of his clothes, which came in handy now. He walked around and bought food and dry rations to prepare for the long journey ahead. It took him less than an instant's time to grab everything, after which he immediately returned to the spot where they'd separated. But Jiang Cheng was gone. Ah! Wei Wuxian, carrying an armful of steamed buns, biscuits, and fruit, panicked for a moment before he forced himself to keep calm and search the nearby streets. When he still didn't see Jiang Cheng, that was when he truly panicked. He grabbed a nearby cobbler. "Sir, there was a young master," he's picturing like a peach cobbler. He's like, "Oh fuck, I can't find Jiang Cheng, what do I do?" "Oh, I'm going to grab some peach cobbler though." I know it's a shoemaker. The cobbler spoke around the thick thread between his pursed lips. "The one with you earlier?" "Yeah," Wei Wuxian replied. There was a young master about my age sitting here earlier. Did you see where he went?" "I didn't get a good look since I've got work to attend to, but he was staring at the people walking by. The next time I looked up, he was suddenly gone. I suppose he left." Wei Wuxian mumbled. "Left? He left? He must have gone back to Lotus Pier to steal the bodies!" Like a man gone mad, Wei Wuxian took to his heels and sprinted back in the direction they'd come from. The weight of the food he'd bought slowed him down, and after running for a while, he abandoned it. But he was dizzy and exhausted, and his panic aggravated his physical distress. His knees buckled, and he fell smack on his face into the dirt, tasting soil. An overwhelming sense of powerlessness and hatred welled up in Wei Wuxian's heart. He smashed his fist hard into the ground and screamed. Only then did he climb to his feet. He turned back to pick up the steamed buns he had thrown on the ground earlier, wiped them on his chest, and wolfed them all down in only a few bites. He chewed like he was tearing at flesh. As he gulped them down, they caught in his throat and he coughed, chest aching. Then he picked up a few more and stuffed them into the folds of his robes, keeping one in hand and continuing to eat it as he continued his mad dash in hopes of intercepting Jiang Cheng. He arrived at Lotus Pier with the bright moon and a smattering of stars overhead. Not once had he caught sight of Jiang Cheng. Hands on his knees, he gasped for breath. Wei Wuxian gazed at the brightly illuminated Lotus Pier from afar. Blood climbed up his chest and into his throat, a common side effect of running for a long time. The metallic taste saturated his mouth, and his vision was turning spotty. Why didn't I catch up with Jiang Cheng? Wei Wuxian thought. Even after I got some food in me, I can only run so fast. He was even more exhausted than me and had been dealt a harder blow. Don't tell me that he can run faster than me under such circumstances. Did he really return to Lotus Pier? But if not, where else could he have gone? To Meishan alone, without me? After taking a moment to catch his breath and regain his wits, he still decided to head into Lotus Pier to confirm. As he stealthily crept along the segment of a wall, a voice in Wei Wuxian's heart prayed despairingly. Please don't let there be someone on the drilling grounds talking about Jiang Cheng's body this time, or else what? What else could he do? Nothing. He was powerless. Lotus Pier was destroyed. Zhang Fengmian and Madame Yu were gone, and now Jiang Cheng was missing too. He was all alone. He didn't even have a sword. He knew nothing. He could do nothing. For the first time, he realized just how insignificant his own power was. In the face of a behemoth like the Wen clan of Qishan, he was like a mantis trying to stop a chariot, ambitious and oblivious to his own pitiable limitations. Wei Wuxian's eyes grew hot as the tears started to well again. As he turned a corner, someone wearing a Blazing Sun uniform walked towards him. In a flash, Wei Wuxian took them captive. He trapped the person's wrists with his left hand and grasped their neck with his right. In a hushed voice, he threatened with the most malevolent tone he could master. Don't make a noise, or I'll break your neck. The person was completely at his mercy. Wei Gongsa, it's me, they hurriedly said. It's me! It was the voice of a young man. Wei Wuxian's first reaction to it was to think, could it be someone I know going undercover by wearing the Wen clan uniform? But this voice was completely unfamiliar to him. He immediately dismissed the thought and tightened his grip. Don't try anything funny. I'm not Wei Gongsa. You can take a look at my face. Look at his face? Don't tell me he has something hidden in his mouth and he's gonna spit at me. Wei Wuxian was on guard as he warily turned the young man's face to take a look. He had delicate and handsome features, with an air of youthful naivety. He was the young master of the Wen clan of Qishan, whom they had seen while spying yesterday. Don't know him, Wei Wuxian thought apathetically. He turned the youth's face and continued to throttle him. Keeping his voice down, he hissed, "Who are you?" The young man seemed a little disappointed. I'm Wen Ning. Wei Wuxian frowned. Who's that? Inwardly, he was thinking, who cares who he is? Either way, he has status in the clan. With him in hand, I might be able to exchange him for Zhang Cheng. Wen Ning spoke slowly and falteringly. A couple years ago, during Qishan's grand symposium, I shot arrows. Wei Wuxian burned with frustration at his hemming and hawing. He raged. You what? You got a stutter? Oh, fuck. Wen Ning flinched in fright in Wei Wuxian's grip, looking as if he wanted to curl into a ball and clutch at his own head to protect it. Softly, he answered, yeah. Wei Wuxian had no response to that. Looking at this sad, timid little stuttering figure, a vague memory suddenly returned to him. The Qishan Grand Symposium, the year before last. Grand Symposium, shooting arrows. Oh, there was someone! Zhang Cheng ventured a guess. You're that Wen something, the one who was pretty good at archery. Wen Ning nodded vigorously. Yes, that's me, he replied in delight. Yesterday I saw you, Wei Gongzi and Zhang Gongzi, and I thought you might come back. You saw me yesterday? Wei Wuxian asked. Yes, Wen Ning answered. But you didn't tell anyone? Wei Wuxian pressed. I would never, Wen Ning exclaimed. I would never tell anyone. It was a rare stutter-free statement. His tone was firm and resolute, as if he were swearing an oath. But Wei Wuxian still wavered, uncertain. Mary B, who's been a member for 11 months, says, Wen Ning, my baby! Right? Oh my god. He is such a good boy. God, I just remembered it happens to him too. Fuck! Wen Ning continued, Wei Gongzi, you're here to find Zhang Gongzi, aren't you? Is Zhang Cheng inside? Wei Wuxian exclaimed. Wen Ning gave an honest answer. Yes, Wen Ning answered honestly. Wei Wuxian's mind whirled as fast as lightning when he heard this. Zhang Cheng is inside, so I'll have to enter Lotus Pier. Should I take Wen Ning hostage? No use in that. Wen Xiao probably doesn't like him, so it's completely pointless to hold him hostage. And is he lying or not? Is he a member of the Wen clan? But he really didn't sound the alarm when he saw us yesterday. If I release him, will he betray me? Can someone so kind-hearted really exist among the Wen dogs? If I want to be absolutely sure nothing goes wrong, my only option is... The intent to kill flashed through Wei Wuxian's mind. He had never been one particularly given to killing, but ever since the tragedy that befell his family, wrath and fury had been smoldering within him. Mercy or benevolence had no place in a situation as grave as this. By applying just a bit of force to his right hand, he could break Wen Ning's neck. As Wei Wuxian's thoughts swirled, Wen Ning asked, Wei Gongzi, have you returned to save Zhang Gongzi? Wei Wuxian's fingers curled. What do you think? He retorted frostily. Surprisingly, Wen Ning smiled, though he did so nervously. I knew it. I can help you save him. For a second, Wei Wuxian thought he'd misheard. Astonished, he blurted, You? You'll help me save him? Yes, right now, Wen Ning said. I can bring him out right now. Wen Qiao and the rest have gone out. Wei Wuxian gripped him. Can you really? Yes, Wen Ning assured. I'm considered a junior of the Wen clan. There's a group of disciples under my command who will heed my orders. Heed your orders? Wei Wuxian snapped. To kill people? No, Wen Ning hurriedly exclaimed himself. The sect disciples under me would never kill people at random. I've never killed anyone from the Zheng clan either. I only hurried here after I heard what happened at Lotus Pier. Really? Wei Wuxian stared at him. What is he up to? Is he lying or just feigning civility? Or civility? This is ridiculous. Does he think me a fool? The frightening thing, however, was that he was honestly beside himself with joy at having found a lifeline. He harshly cursed himself. Foolish, useless, absurd, outrageous, fanciful. However, he was just one person with no sword or spiritual weapons, and there were hundreds and thousands of cultivators from the Wen clan stationed here, and possibly Wen Julio as well. He wasn't afraid to die, only afraid he couldn't save Zhang Cheng before he did. He was afraid he'd end up letting down Zhang Fengmian and Madame Yu, who'd entrusted Zhang Cheng to him. With things being what they were, the only one he could pin his hopes on was this Wen he'd met at a grand total of 3 times. Wei Wuxian licked his parched lips and said, his voice rough, Then, can you help me? Help me retrieve sect leader Zhang and Madame Yu's bodies? Without realizing it, he had also begun to stammer. He was midway through his sentence when he realized he was still gripping Wen Ning threateningly and hastily released the young man. He had a contingency plan, however, if Wen Ning fled and yelled the moment he released him. Wei Wuxian was ready to immediately split his head open. However, Wen Ning turned around and said in all seriousness, I'll definitely do my best. His mind in a muddle, Wei Wuxian waited. As he paced in circles, he thought, what's wrong with me? Have I gone mad? Why is Wen Ning helping me? And why should I trust him? What if he's lied to me and Zhang Cheng isn't inside at all? No, it's best if he isn't inside. Before an instant's time had passed, Wen Ning re-emerged soundlessly with someone on his back. The person was covered in blood and motionless, their face ghastly pale and their eyes shut tight. It was none other than Zhang Cheng! Wei Wuxian softly called out, Zhang Cheng! Zhang Cheng! He held a hand under Zhang Cheng's nose, still breathing. Wen Ning extended a hand to Wei Wuxian and placed something in his palm. Zhang Gong's Zidian, I've brought that too. Recalling that he had harbored the intent to kill Wen Ning earlier, Wei Wuxian didn't know what else he could say. Thank you, he mumbled. You're welcome, Wen Ning replied. As for Zhang Shensheng and Madame Yu's bodies, I've already had them moved and will transport them to you later. It's inadvisable to stay for too long. You should go now. Without needing him to say another word, Wei Wuxian took Zhang Cheng and lifted him onto his own back. The first thing he noticed was the bloody whip wound across Zhang Cheng's chest. The discipline whip? Wei Wuxian exclaimed. Yes, Wen Ning confirmed. When Chao got his hands on the Zheng clan's disciple whip, When Chao got his hands on the Zheng clan's discipline whip, Zhang Gongse has other injuries as well. Wei Wuxian felt around on Zhang Cheng. He had at least 3 broken ribs, and who knew what else he couldn't yet be seen. When Wen Chao returns and realizes what happened, he will definitely hunt for both of you around Yanmeng, Wen Ning added. Wei Gongse, if you trust me, I can show you a good place to hide. Zhang Cheng was seriously injured and in urgent need of treatment and rest. They definitely wouldn't be on the move and missing meals as they had been before. Wei Wuxian saw no other way out of this impossible predicament than relying on Wen Ning. Just a day ago, he would have never dreamed he and Zhang Cheng would have to rely on a Wen to help escape. He might even have died rather than submit. But now, Wei Wuxian could only say, thank you. Wen Ning waved his hands. No need for thanks. Wei Gongse, this way. I have a boat. Carrying Zhang Cheng on his back, Wei Wuxian found the boat Wen Ning had hidden and placed Zhang Cheng in the cabin. Wen Ning cleaned Zhang Cheng's wounds before applying medicinal powder and bandaging them. Seeing him move with such practiced skill, Wei Wuxian couldn't help but recall how the young man had looked back when he'd seen him at the Qishan Grand Symposium. It was the same symposium where he'd scored in the top 4 archery alongside Lan Wangji, Lan Qichen, and Jin Sijuan. Before the archery competition had started that day, he'd been wandering around Nightless City by himself. As he walked, he'd passed through a small garden and suddenly heard the reverberations of a bowstring. Wei Wuxian had entered the garden through the trees, brushing aside the leaves as he crept along. He'd seen a young man in a lightweight white robe standing there, aiming his bow at a target in front of him right before he released the string. The young man's side profile was delicate and refined, and his posture as he drew the bow was both beautiful and perfectly correct. The target's red-painted center was densely packed with arrows, and his latest shot had joined the crowd there as well. To think he had not missed a single shot. That's some sharp shooting, Wei Wuxian cheered. Seeing his shot had flown true, the young man pulled another arrow from his quiver on his back. He had his head down, about to knock the arrow, when he unexpectedly heard Wei Wuxian's unfamiliar voice. Startled, his hand shuddered and the arrow fell to the ground. Wei Wuxian walked out from behind the flower bed with a smile. Which of the Wen clan's young masters are you? That was marvelous. Beautiful. Great shooting there. I've never seen anyone from your clan who could shoot. Before he could finish, the young man abandoned his bow and arrows and fled from sight. Wei Wuxian was struck, momentarily speechless. Then he stroked his chin. Am I that dashing? So dashing that I scared him away? He didn't take the incident to heart, dismissing it as curious sighting. The competition was about to start, so he returned to the square. There was a commotion on the Wen clan side. Wei Wuxian asked Zhang Cheng, how can their clan stir up so much trouble organizing a symposium? There's drama every day. What's the matter now? What else? Zhang Cheng scoffed. The number of competition spots is limited. They're all fighting over who gets to participate. After a pause, he continued contemptuously. That group of Wens are all equally terrible archers. It's gonna be like that no matter who participates. Why would fighting over it make any difference? From the other end of the square, Wen Chao barked, One more! We're still one short! Last spot! The young man in white from before was also standing among the Wen clan crowd. He looked left and right, then mustered up enough courage to lift his head, but he didn't hold it high enough, and he didn't dare shout his own name, as the others did. It was only after he'd been shoved around for a while that someone noticed him and marveled aloud. "Chongling, you want to participate too?" That young man named Chongling nodded. Chonglin. Someone else laughed. "I've never even seen you hold a bow before. What are you doing trying to participate in the competition? Don't waste the spot." Wen Chonglin seemed to want to defend himself, but that person continued. "All right, enough. Don't try to sign up just for the novelty of it. The results are going to be officially counted. It won't be my business if you go and humiliate yourself." Wei Wuxian thought, humiliate? If there's anyone in the Wen clan who can save the lot of you any face, it's him. The disdain in the person's tone came too easily, and it incurred Wei Wuxian's displeasure to hear. He raised his voice. "Who said he's never held a bow before? He has, and he's very good at it." The crowd looked at him with slight surprise, then turned their eyes to the young man. Wen Chonglin's face was somewhat pale to begin with, and suddenly having everyone's attention on him turned it beet red in no time. His pitch-black eyes stared hard at Wei Wuxian. Wei Wuxian walked over, hands clasped behind his back. "Hi, Storm. Thank you for being a member. I'm happy to bring you comfort and entertainment for the last 2 weeks. Oh my goodness. I hope that everything's okay with you and you'll be okay, and we're here with you. You got the whole chat here with you. But I'm glad that I could comfort and entertain you, and we're here for you." And thank you for being a member, Storm, as well. Wei Wuxian walked over, hands clasped behind his back. "Weren't you doing a pretty good job of it earlier in the garden?" Wen Chao turned around and wondered dubiously. "Really? You're good at archery? Why did I never hear about this?" Wen Chonglin mumbled quietly. I only just started training recently." His voice was soft and also halting, as if he was preparing for someone to cut him off any time, which indeed happened often. Wen Chao impatiently interrupted him. "All right, then. There's a target there. Go ahead and show us. If you're good, you're in. If not, get out of the way." The area around Wen Chonglin was vacated in no time. His grip on the bow tightened as he looked pleadingly left and right. Seeing how lacking he was in self-confidence, Wei Wuxian patted him on the shoulder. "Yes, everybody send good vibes in the chat for Storm. We're sending you good vibes. We're thinking of you." Wen Chonglin gave a grateful look, then a deep breath, and drew the bow. Man, this is like Senior. What was his name? The guy from Scum Villain that I kept saying Senior instead of Senior? He drew the bow of the ship. Fuck, I never say the right one. He drew the bow. Senior Shen, yes, fuck. But as soon as he did, Wei Wuxian shook his head inwardly and thought, no good. Wen Chonglin had likely never shot an arrow in the presence of other people. He was shaking all over, from his arm to his fingertips. The arrow hurtled forth and missed the target totally. The Wens watching him jeered. How was this good? I could shoot better than that with my eyes closed. Alright, let's stop wasting time. Hurry up and pick someone. Wen Chonglin's face flushed all the way to his ears. He didn't even need the others to wave him away as he fled, mortified. Wei Wuxian chased after him. Hey, don't run away. What's your Chonglin Chong, right? What are you running away for? Hearing Wei Wuxian calling after him, Wen Chonglin stopped and turned around. He hung his head, looking deeply ashamed. Sorry. Why are you apologizing to me? Wei Wuxian wondered. Clearly feeling guilty, Wen Chonglin explained. You recommended me, but I made you lose face. What face is there for me to lose? Wei Wuxian asked. You don't really shoot in front of others, right? Were you just nervous just now? Wen Chonglin nodded, and Wei Wuxian said, Have some confidence in yourself. I'll be honest with you, you shoot better than anyone else in your clan, and of all the sect disciples I've seen, there are no more than 3 who are better at archery than you. Zheng Cheng walked over. What are you up to now? 3 what? Wei Wuxian pointed at Zheng Cheng. There, this is one for example. He's not as good as you in archery. Wow. Jung Chung flew into a rage. You're dead! Wei Wuxian accepted a blow from him. Without even batting an eyelash, he continued. It's true. There's honestly nothing to be nervous about. Practice in front of others more often and you'll get used to it. Next time, you'll definitely make them see you in a new light. Wen Chongling was probably a junior from a collateral branch of the Wen clan. His status was neither high nor low, but he was a timid, hesitant person with a low self-esteem who stuttered when he spoke. He had finally mustered the courage to join the competition after much practice, but had blown his chance because he was too nervous. Without proper guidance, the boy might withdraw even further from the world, never daring to show his skills in the presence of others again. Wei Wuxian said a few words of encouragement, then briefly mentioned some key points that he needed to be brought to his attention, correcting a few minor bad habits he'd noticed when he was shooting arrows in the garden. Wen Chonglin listened with rapt attention, nodding non-stop. How much bullshit do you want to spout? Zhang Cheng said. The competition is starting, so hurry up and get your ass to the arena. Wei Wuxian said to Wen Chonglin seriously, I'm off to competition now. You can watch how I shoot in the field. Zhang Cheng impatiently dragged him away, clicking his tongue as he did. Watch what? You think you're a role model? Wei Wuxian pondered the question and responded in an amazed tone. Yeah, am I not? Wei Wuxian, I've never seen anyone as shameless as you. Oh my gosh. Okay, there's a little paragraph break there before we go back into the current past timeline with them sneaking Zhang Cheng inside. So I think we'll stop there because it's almost 7. But that, you know, it was fucking sad. That was fucking awful. But I do think that reading these really emotional scenes together, it makes it really, really good. It makes it hit harder. At least, I mean, reading it alone is also very emotional, but like, I really love seeing all the reactions in the chat and everything like that. So, man, we'll do this together. We will get through this arc together. Eventually, just always keep this in the back of your mind. Eventually, we will get to the most fucking insane, nonsensical smut, okay? Eventually we will get to sword and ass. Yes, and we have the puppets. We are on book 3. On a scale of 1 to 10, how traumatized are we uncles? Zhang Cheng finding out that his parents were dead by overhearing, like, Wang Lingjiao be like, oh, and I wasn't even allowed to slap her face even after she died. That's like 10 out of 10 traumatizing. That's fucked. That was so fucked up. Yup. What sword in the butt? Well, let's just say there is an extra in book 5 that will shock you. Look. There we go. Perfect. To holding my ring. How fashionable. I just see the, oh buddy. Oh honey, you got a big storm coming. You got a big storm coming. Dude, it's Sparrow says, I haven't read, I've only seen The Untamed. Oh shit. Yeah. There is eventual smut in the books that was censored out of The Untamed, and one of the scenes is absolutely wild. I am also excited to get to the blindfold scene. Yeah, that's a good scene. Alright guys, I'm gonna go eat some pizza, but thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you so much for being in the chat and being so kind to one another. Thank you for joining my membership and continuing to support Stitch and I on this channel. And remember to subscribe. And tomorrow I have hockey, I think at 7:30. Let me just double check actually, but I'm pretty sure I can do a stream tomorrow. It might just be a little bit shorter again. Yeah, so, wait, let me do math. Okay, yeah, I could stream for like an hour and a half tomorrow. So we'll keep reading. Yeah. Oh, Sugar Kiss, thank you so much for gifting a membership. People are saying, tell us about the sword up the butt. Oh, you gotta wait for it. You gotta wait for it. Thank you so much, Sugar Kiss, and welcome eggs. Okay, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye. At 5. Bye.